So, John, we're back.
We are back. We are back, and we have late breaking news. I don't know how late breaking this is, because anybody who got the same email as you and me also know this news by now, probably. But PlayStation, right? PlayStation Plus collection is going away.
Yeah, well, it says it's closing. It says the PlayStation Plus collection is closing, which is a strange phrasing of that. But so from the 9th of May, the collection will no longer be available if you're a PlayStation Plus member, which is, I believe, is the lowest tier. I'm guessing that's the one I'm on, because I don't pay for any of the extra stuff. Although I guess it's not for anybody anymore.
I think it's going away completely, because even if you're paying the premium tier, I think it just is going away because they're going to focus on adding to that collection, really.
Right, yeah, that's it, because they have game catalog, which I think is what they call the new thing for the higher tier. So
yeah. It's all very confusing. PlayStation does not make this stuff easy. They've got all the different tiers and the different things that are part. It's just the naming is a little weird.
Yeah, I know it's not pretty, but I really just wish they just called it like level 1, level 2, and level 3 and be done with it.
Yeah.
At least I'd understand where I am with it. So I mean, it's kind of fine. Like, in all honesty, the PlayStation Plus collection, you could probably buy most of those games secondhand for maybe £100 or something, because a lot of them are like the the classics or whatever the branding was that they were using.
Right.
So it's it's not a great loss, and I don't necessarily think anybody was signing up for that, but I will obviously be going in and making sure I've downloaded them all.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Hey, by the way, I've been playing The Last of Us Part 1, the September 2022. I guess it's a remake, they're calling it, not so much a remaster, because I just talked about, this is going to be something as a spoiler that I'm going to talk about a little bit on Mac Stories Unwind, but I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I've never played the game through, and I'm still very early in the game since I just started last weekend, but I was, even having seen so many like side-by-side comparison shots and everything, I was really floored by the quality of this game and the visuals.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was going to say the exact same thing right before you did, that I've started playing it as well, because you may have seen I posted, I got the Firefly edition, which is as an aside was a, and again I did post about this, but this is the first game I've bought where there is a physical edition available, but I've got digital, because this Firefly edition, this collector's edition, just comes with a code.
It's a steel box with nothing, well, not nothing in it, but there's no game in the steel box, just a code and then the extras, right?
Correct, yeah. So it comes with, you get the steelbook,
right?
Which, was partially what I wanted. You get a reprint of the comics that they did.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
For the first game, you get 4 of those. With nice new covers. I don't think I have the original ones. And yeah, for whatever reason, they sold this only in the US for a while. And the US version does come with a disc. But as soon as it came to the EU, they were like, oh no, you just get a digital code. And I wasn't going to buy it. And then I thought, you know what? This is the way it's going, and I need to just accept that. And stop being such a physical hoarder.
Where did you get it? Where did you get it? Because I think it's sold out here. I think I looked.
Yes. So this is the other weird thing. The US had this edition at launch.
Yeah.
I got mine last week, and that was the launch day for the EU.
Really?
And the UK. So this, not for the game, so I could buy the physical version of the game. For the Steelbook Firefly edition, that didn't come out until last week for some reason.
I'm pretty sure you can't get it here anymore, because it's not that I was going to try to buy the Steelbook myself, but I was looking at the website for doing some prep for Mac Stories Unwind, and I noticed they had the Steelbook there, and I remembered you had told me that you got it, so I was kind of poking around to see what was in it and what it came with, including the digital and see whether it was a digital code or not in the US. And I noticed that it said sold out. At least that was I think that was on the Sony site. Maybe there's some retailers that still have it.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think it was an exclusive to Sony. And
okay.
I feel like this kind of thing, I mean, it's going to sell out fairly quickly. It almost feels this sort of like last bastion of like physical editions at all, really. But back to the actual game. Yeah, I mean, I've played the game twice before, I think. So this is my third playthrough. But oh my god, it just looks fantastic. It plays really well. Like, the story is still so good, and the gameplay is really good. I'm kind of having a fun time. I'm almost like playing the sections that I know are going to be the episodes of the TV show, which we won't talk about. I don't want to put spoilers in the middle of the episode or anything, but yeah. So I kind of finished the section of the game, and then I was able to watch episode 3, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun to like compare the two, because I couldn't necessarily remember all the details from the game.
Right. I'm about through episode 2 essentially with the game itself. Haven't gotten up to the episode 3 part yet, but I just got to the part where you have to go deal with Robert, who stole your battery. So very early in the game, but still, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really. I mean, this is why people like this game so much, and people complain about a remaster again, because this is the second remaster now. I don't care. I want the best version of this game that I can. So
yeah, I do too. And I mean, I liked what they did, because it's like, and I do think it does qualify as a remake, because all the motion capture is the original, and all the voice acting and all that is original, but they really completely redid the graphics and brought them up to modern PS5 quality. And there's some interesting behind the scenes videos that you can watch on Sony's website. I think they're on YouTube too, but a little behind the scenes snippets with some of the the director and some of the other people involved in the making of the game about what they did to improve it for this release. I mean, it was another full $70. I mean, we had the game already that we bought years ago, but I had never really played it in any depth. So for me, it was just like buying a new game.
Yeah, when this turned up and Jess said, "Oh, what game is this you've ordered?" And it was £100 for the collector's edition thing, and I said, "Oh, it's The Last of Us." She went, "Oh, is it a sequel?" I went, "No, it's the original game." And she was like, "What, the original game, like you've got on PS4 and PS3?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I got to squeeze these games in before baby comes, because we've got like 2 months now. So
oh boy, yeah, you got to get working on that for sure. Well, fortunately, it's not a super long game, which is good.
No.
Another game I should mention that I know you would love, Rob, is Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh,
it's so good, Rob.
I have no ability to play this.
It's so good. It's my favorite game that I've played in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the perfect game for me.
I know it is. This is the kind of game you like.
Everything I would love.
Yeah, it's got great music. It's very self-contained. It's a game that you don't have to really invest long periods of time into it, one sitting, which I kind of like. It's very self-contained. I think it's like 12 levels. It's a rhythm game, and it has incredible artwork. And I just started it last weekend. It's part of Game Pass, so didn't have to spend any money to get it, any more money to get it. And it's also, I believe, on PC through Steam. PC and Steam, I think. I think you can get it separately from the Xbox store too, if you want. But
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's $30 if you're buying it. So not a super expensive game. It's a very manageable, smaller sized game and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I can do that on my Xbox One. Maybe. Do I need a new Xbox? I don't know.
I really don't know. I think it's Series S and X. I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
I will make a note to have a look into that, because I'd seen a bunch of people and I knew this was a game I'd want to play, but it is what it is. I've got a PS5. I don't have an Xbox.
Yeah,
X or whatever the hell.
Well, it'll probably. My guess is that this thing will spread eventually, and that you'll see it eventually on like the Switch and things like that, because it is a graphically beautiful game, and it might have to be it might take some hits going to the Switch, I suppose, but I could see it being on the PS5 eventually too.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I'll keep an eye out for it, but yeah, that's. Well, thank you for reminding me that I can't play that right now.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Did you
yes.
Did you get a new HomePod thing? Did you get one?
I did not. I did not even write about the new HomePod when the reviews came out because I looked at them and I was like, TechCrunch did like a 4,000 word review of it. I was like, what are you doing? and I read it. I read the whole thing. It was a very good review. I looked at the Verges. I looked at Engadget. I looked at a bunch of them. And I was like, and the conclusion of them all was, yeah, it's basically sounds really, it's basically like the old one, but it has some new software features.
Sure. Yeah, which I remember because last episode was when they had announced it, and we went through all the specs where you were sort of trying to work out, oh, it actually comes with a cable, and that's like been confirmed now.
Right.
Like a detachable cable.
Right. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm glad that there is still a bigger HomePod that sounds better than the Mini, because I have HomePod Minis and they're good, but they are not high. They're not high quality audio. I mean, they're good enough. They're good for like a bedside table or maybe in your kitchen, or I don't know. They're fine. And I did I really do like my original HomePods. They're still going strong. I have them connected to my TV, and the eARC feature that they have, so that you can run all of your, TV and PlayStation and Xbox, all that audio through it, works really well. And there's no like noticeable latency in the slightest. And I was always kind of disappointed that Apple discontinued it. But then I was even more disappointed when they brought it back, because it's really no different. And you can't make a big deal of the software differences, really, because most of those software differences have been backported to the original HomePod too. They're things that just happened to be added to the Mini over the last 2 years, while there was no original HomePod. So to me, that's not like it's not a meaningful difference. It's nice that those things are part of it, but the thing itself is just not substantially different, other than in very around the edges ways. And I feel like I feel like they got rid of it because they weren't making enough money on it, and now they can make enough money on it, so they did. So they brought it back, and that this is like an accountant's thing more than anything else. It's like a failure of imagination. It's like, all right. I mean, I guess it's good that it's back, but is this really it? I mean, what's going on? I mean, Apple's got. I'm going to go on a rant here, Rob, because I'm very upset about the HomePod and the iPad right now. It's like, I feel like there's no home strategy as far as I can tell. Now, there are rumors that there are other things coming, eventually from Apple. There's always rumors that there's something fancy coming from Apple. And, I'll believe it when I see it, when we have our foldable iPads and our HomePod with that's a sound bar and has a camera in it and a TV connect, whatever. There's lots of rumors, but there's no real products right now that have moved either one of those products forward in any meaningful way in years now. And that is kind of disturbing. And I do wonder whether is the engineering talent been reallocated to a car? Are they working on the Reality Pro X whatever thing? Or, is it a headset? And the headset, I'm excited about the headset, but I'm also petrified that they're going to completely screw that up, because I have no idea how they're going to make a headset and have games on it with no controller. And there's so many aspects of the rumors of that sound horrifying, like a battery that's twice as big as a iPhone 14 Pro Max that you put in your pocket and tether to your head, and hand tracking, but no controllers necessarily. Now, I think maybe there will be controllers as maybe an add-on or something, and I actually am pretty excited just to see what Apple comes up with, since this is a technology that's been around for a while, and I'm just curious what their take on it is more than anything else. But some of this other stuff that, admittedly, I don't think that HomePods or iPads are, the iPhone is where the money's at. And the services, I suppose, too, to a degree. But I feel like they're kind of like stuck in the mud and languishing a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It feels a bit. It feels like there's a lot of rumors that they're going to fix these things. You know, like you say, new iPads and the headset, and there's rumors of like security cameras and like an Echo Show type thing, but it's a HomePod. And okay, but where are these things? Because the Echo Show's been out for what, 4 years?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Something like
they discontinued the HomePod 2 years ago, and here we are 2 years later, and what do we get? The original HomePod. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's not. It's kind of. I don't know. I'm definitely not as enamored or not as excited with what they're doing as I have been in the past. Just because it just feels like everything is. Oh, I promise it's coming soon. No, really, really, it's coming soon. And it's like, okay, just do it, Apple. Like you're the biggest company in the world. I'm sure you can make the things people want.
Well, and the thing that's tiresome about it, I guess, to me, is that it's not Apple really making the promises. It's the wishful thinking of the people who like their products that just say, "Oh, just wait a little longer." You know what? I don't know. I mean, I think at some point you got to just look at it and say, you know what, this is kind of a mess and it's a problem. And I think that's where it is. And that's not to say that I'm not, like, for instance, I'm very excited about the Mac. I think all the M1, M2 Apple Silicon Macs are fantastic. And I'm very happy to be sitting at a desk with a studio display and a Mac Studio in front of me because it's the perfect Mac setup. It's the best Mac I've had ever. I mean, when I had a 2016 MacBook Pro, I was dying. It was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. and now I look at this setup compared to my iPad Pro, and I think, oh, you poor little iPad Pro. There's not, you got nothing to offer me except a nice bright screen these days.
Yeah, and it's a very weird situation. Like you say, the Macs especially are like, as good as they can possibly be. Honestly, like any of the Macs right now. The M2 MacBook Pros, even the M1 Air and stuff, like the Mac Studio, all of this stuff these are good Macs now that you can buy. Like you can go on there, you pick any Mac, and it's going to be good. Like it's going to be a solid, really good machine. And then there's everything else that's just like whatever.
And I'm still I don't know. I'm the chump who's still paying for his cellular plan on his iPad Pro, and I'm like thinking, why am I doing that? because I work from home and I haven't been using it much, but maybe I will once the weather gets warmer. I mean, that's the thing, is like the iPad Pro for me is kind of seasonal. It's like, it's something that's easy to take out and sit on my porch or, go down to a coffee shop or something like that when I don't feel like carrying my MacBook Air. I've got too many devices in my life, I think, Rob. I think maybe I need to like skinny down. I do have this dream of a MacBook Pro, but every time I look at the prices of the MacBook Pros, it cures me of getting a MacBook Pro because what I really want is a souped up MacBook Pro, but souped up only in terms of the storage and the memory. Because I want the screen of a MacBook Pro, but I also want a lot of storage so I don't ever have to think about it. And a lot of memory because I just like to have lots of apps and Safari tabs and everything open, and it really does make a difference. But I don't care so much about my the graphical cores and the CPU. You know what I mean? I don't need an incredibly high powered system on a chip, but I do want a lot of storage and memory. And once you spec those, first of all, you can't spec up the highest memory and storage configurations unless you're at the higher chips. That's the problem. Is like the first thing I did was spec'd up like a $5,000 MacBook Pro. I was like, well, that's not happening. And then I was like, well, maybe I don't need. I was thinking 16 inches because I could just have it for around the house. I wouldn't be lugging it back and forth to an office or anything. And then I thought, well, maybe if I did the 14. I looked at the 14. The 14's like, oh, well, that'll shave it down to a cool 4,000, which is still way too much. And so, there's no good solution. I think really the solution for me probably is just a MacBook Air with a little bit more memory. Like that's the one thing that's a constraint I feel on my M1 MacBook Air is the 16 gigs of memory.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And the
well,
the M2 has 24, I think, at the peak.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're ever feeling like you've got too many devices, you box those up, you send them to me, I'll look after them for you. Nice iPad for me. Yeah, anything else you got spare, I'll take it. It's fine.
I know. I've sent so many things back to like Ireland with my son. But you have to come here, Rob, because shipping expensive things to places like England costs a ton of money.
Oh boy, does it! Because I found a place selling Ollie, the Twitterific bird.
Did you order one?
Well, I was going to,
yeah,
and then I saw that it was $20 for the the thing,
yeah,
and $45 for shipping to the UK.
Oh my gosh!
I do have a American friend who has ordered me one because he'd ordered one for somebody else in the UK. And they're both getting shipped at the same time, and then my UK contact will then ship it to me.
Oh, that's good. That'll be cheaper. That'll be cheaper for sure. I ordered one too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I feel like every now and then something like this pops up, and it's like I don't need more tchotchkes around my office. But on the other hand, this is such a unique piece of online culture and history that I don't want to lose it. So I ordered one too. When I saw Simon Stovering had ordered one, and then Joe Herbar, and Joe had the link, and I followed the link, and I was amazed that they still had them, because I didn't even see Joe's Mastodon post right away. But
oh yeah, no, and I think they're still in stock now, as far as I'm aware.
Wow.
I don't understand how they have so many of these things.
Somebody's got a back room full of little blue birds and is wondering why all of a sudden there's a run on the blue bird after all these years.
They've just been waiting for their moment. They're like, no, not yet.
It's going to be a collector's item. We know it. Thanks to Elon, it is now. Yeah.
That person's poor wife or husband is like, oh my god, finally.
Finally these are out of our basement and into the post office.
There's just been a pallet of them some poor bugger's house that they've been like, why are these still here?
Right. Well, I did have that moment where I thought, oh, how long have these been sitting somewhere? Are these even going to be nice anymore? I'm hoping, but I saw a picture Simon posted of his, and it looks like it's fine. So
yeah, I wasn't going to order one because I couldn't justify twice the price just to ship it.
No.
But then everything aligned because my friend Keir he was getting a shipment of it from the US, so we've just combined mine with his, and he's just down the road, so he can ship it to me.
Well, that's nice. That's good to know. Well, I will not. So I'm not getting the MacBook Pro, Rob. I think I will wait for the M3 MacBook Air. That's kind of where I'm sitting right now, because if that actually goes to a smaller chip process, that will probably mean a significant boost in performance too. So why not? You know what I mean? Plus, I gotta save my money for that sweet headset.
Oh yeah, you can do that because I'm not buying it.
If it's $3,000, I'm gonna have a lot of explaining to do with my wife.
Yes, yeah, you are. You're going to be like whoever it was at who had the Ollie Twitterific birds, just explaining why, what's going on, why is this so expensive?
Right, and then I'll get it, and I'll be like, oh well, there's nothing I can do because there's nobody else who has one. I can't even call them on FaceTime to have a Memoji meeting.
Oh my god, stop! Right, that's it. I'm calling it. We're done.
Tichi and I are going to have Memoji meetings for Mac Stories.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah. Well, let's end on that note, I think.
All right.
That one way a bit more ranty than we were expecting. I think,
sure.
So.
I've had this bottled up inside me, Rob, and I thank you for letting me get it all out.
That's all right. This is what we're here. This is what the podcast is for, I think, at this point.
Exactly. All right.
All right. I'll speak to you in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Bye-bye.